Hello, and welcome to Dolphin's Dive, the weekly strategically minded Handelabra stream hosted by Dolphin. Handelabra believes in civil rights for everyone and in being as inclusive as possible, so any comments or activity actively... I gotta turn this up, I just remembered. The game is probably really quiet. If it's louder now, good. I sometimes turn the volume down on my thing. Anyway, Handelabra believes in civil rights for everyone and in being as inclusive as possible, so any comments or activity actively work against that goal those goals are not welcome and will not be tolerated. You can follow us at Handelabra Games on Twitch and Handelabra on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. You can follow me personally at LewDolphin21 on Twitter, and on Twitch and YouTube it's LewDolphin, no digits. Sentinels of the Multiverse, Bottom of the Ninth, Aeon's End, and One Deck Dungeon are available on Steam, iOS, and Android devices. And Spirit Island is in beta testing, and Bottom of the Ninth is available for free thanks to Handelabra and their efforts to help out the community amidst the coronavirus crisis. And you can get the games and more info at handelabra.com. Hello, hello, hello. You might notice something slightly different if you pay attention to any of my streams. My mic stand is over here. My mic is actually situated right here. And that's because I've had to transition to online teaching as the result of the COVID-19 situation. My state is on lockdown now. Only essential workers are allowed to be out working. And although it's a pretty lax system, I think technically the Ohio lockdown order kind of lets businesses decide whether they are essential, and some businesses have taken advantage of that. My school, and schools rather, are both great places, and they decided even before the governor did to move all campuses to remote instruction as opposed to in-person learning. As the result, I've been doing online teaching, and I've been doing things with writing down stuff on a tablet, putting that on a screen, and sharing my screen to my students. But doing that kind of requires me to have a slightly different setup here. So this mic is right here instead of situated over here, just because it is much easier for me to write like this as opposed to like this. So that's why I'm situated a little closer to the screen with the mic right here. GameStop did decide they're essential because if they decide to stop their business, they go out of business. It's very terrible, but I feel like this situation is proving which companies are looking out for their workers, which ones are thinking about the people, and which ones are just there to make money. Leaders included, by the way. So it's going to feel a little weird for me because, like, my game window is right here, so I might look like this the entire stream, but my chat is more over here, my webcam's over here. And because of how this monitor over here is set up, if I put the webcam over there, it would actually block the screen a little bit, which is why I moved the webcam over here a while ago. But if I'm like situated like this, that's a big exaggeration, but it's the usual, like, the things over there, but now I'm kind of forward leaning, and so it's going to be a little more pronounced. Anyway, you don't care about any of that. You care about playing games. So for those of you that attended last week, also hello Seamus, happy good relevant time of day. We were a little off schedule last week because we had John and some Canadian friends guest starring on my stream. And so we decided to play Oblivion, especially because it was the 1-year anniversary of Oblivion's release. It would have ordinarily been Aeon's End and One Deck Dungeon week, so I'm doing it this week instead. Not that I'm ever really on a set schedule, but I do like to try to alternate weeks. But we were basically on 2 or 3 straight weeks of Sentinels, so it's been a long time since I've played these games. Let's just go ahead and take a look at my statistics here. Kadir, Jay, Xaxos are my least played heroes. So let's try a game with Kadir, Jay, and Xaxos to try to move those people up. I wonder if I can convince John to put like a parentheses for number of times played as opposed to win-loss record. Speaking of John, hey John, can we put a parentheses here so I can look through this list a little more easily rather than doing 1 + 3, 2 + 2, 2 + 1? Just because I'm very like OCD at trying to keep everything even. It's not important by any means though. Let's see. So Kadir, Jay, Xaxos, and the Nemesis is Carapace Queen. And Carapace Queen, I'm undefeated against. It's math practice. I mean, I can do the math. I know math. I'm very good at mental math. I just want to save the 2 seconds. All right, so let's see if I can remember this going in here. Kadir, Jay, Xaxos, Carapace Queen. Booyah. And we'll just do random things because I kind of like just going random. One of these days I will get around to actually like thinking about the strategy of spells and relics and gems, but I just like thinking to myself, this is, you know, if we're supposed to be playing against the Nemesis, we should not have like the luxury of choosing our resources, because you can't decide when COVID-19 closes down your state. You can't decide what relics you have available in your own house. And we'll stick on normal. So mages start with 10 health, Gravehold starts with 30 health, Carapace Queen has 60 health. 2 husks are placed into play on the first 2 spaces of the husk track. Unleash places 2 husks into play. Each husk is a minion that has 1 life. This is also, I thought this changes, no it doesn't. Each husk is a minion that has 1 life. When the husk is placed into play, it goes in the next available space on the husk track. When a player deals damage to a husk, that player may suffer 1 damage to distribute the damage dealt over multiple husks. When Carapace Queen has 15 husks in play and must place another into play, Gravehold suffers 1 damage instead. When Carapace Queen swarms, the swarm effect is based on... There's a missing word here. The swarm effect... Oh, never mind. Never mind. Sorry. Let me start over again. Hi, I'm Dolphin. I'm going to be streaming on the Handelabra channel. When Carapace Queen swarms, the swarm effect, based on the number of husks in play, is resolved. The next expansion we are working on will add 2 more nemesis to make 6 in total. Excellent. And that expansion was the Nameless, right? I think that's what I had seen. I think War Eternal I purchased locally. And I played 1 game of that with some friends and we lost. But I do not remember what we were playing against. This was like 3 weeks ago. All right, so what was this attack? Place a husk into play for each turn order card in the turn order discard pile. Well, okay, that was a really good card to start with because that only placed 1 down. So we are at 3. The swarm effect is to place 4 husks into play. And she swarms only when the card says swarm because her unleash isn't swarm. Also, we're starting with a wild turn here. And let's remind ourselves of what these powers are. Kadir's power: during any player's main phase, that player may return up to 3 spells in their discard to their hand, and then that player may prep up to 2 spells to each of their opened breaches this turn. So that is exciting. You can double up on spells, and returning discarded spells to your hand allows you to put many spells down. Dinner time, have fun. Oh boy, dinner time. Jay's power: during your main phase, cast a prepped Vortex deck spell 3 times and then destroy it. She also has the Vortex Breach, which can never be opened, can only be focused, but whenever a spell is cast here, it gets a permanent +1 damage. In Xaxos, during any player's main phase, allies collectively gain 4 charges, reveal the turn order deck, and return the revealed cards in any order. So we can do this, and from what I learned, if we have all of the things, all of the discarded, or all the turn orders are in the discard, we can actually shuffle the discard, or shuffle them all together, and then set the next round in action. So we want Xaxos to get this, especially because this will give charges for Kadir and Jay, and it will allow us to control the next round, which is very important. We can do this during any player's main phase, So as long as we have a player over here at the very end, we can keep doing this every round. So it might be prudent to get Xaxos to get that pretty quickly. He has 4 crystals to start with. He will get 4 more the next round. He has the spell that deals damage based on what the top revealed turn order deck card is. So he can get 4 charges on this in the first 2 rounds. Is that better or worse? Well, you can't afford the Mage's Talisman. Ignite, however, is a good spell, although that only helps allies. Well, I guess Kadir and Jay could get Ignite, maybe. All right, Xaxos, take your turn. Play your gems, cast or prep your spell. Charge. To discard, destroy a card in hand that costs 2 ether or more. And then the power is to unleash. Any player discards 3 cards and then draws 1 card. And that is a basic card, so that was one of the random ones that were added in. We also have this Vortex deck, which has these extra spells that do not belong to any of these supplies, although, well, they could belong to a supply. Yeah, and I'm guessing these are all random ones, because I don't remember there being a durability one in here. So that's cool. This one, you may destroy a card in hand. Yep, that's cool and all. I want to get Ignite. You don't have that in your Vortex deck. And I want you to get Ignite. The last turn is Xaxos. So this should reveal the top card of the turn order deck, meaning it should shuffle this, right? Yes. And it's Carapace Queen, so this is only dealing 1 damage. Getting rid of husks is better, although we are in the stage where swarms are going to prioritize getting husks in play, but keeping us out of the damage dealing and Gravehold suffering damage as well as the players lose is ideal. Alright. So discard 3 cards in hand or unleash. Any player suffers 4 damage. But we could discard 3 cards in hand to get rid of that. Drag to do this. Why can I not drag? Drag! Drag! There we go. Okay. So you cannot destroy a card that costs 2 ether or more. You cannot do that either. So the gems, the spell. How many spells does Kadir have? She has 3 spells. Let's focus this breach. Alright, so now you have a spell that costs 2 ether or more. It's Ignite. I don't want to destroy Ignite, but it's better than unleashing and... I mean, maybe unleashing is not the worst thing. It's the discarding 3 cards that could be bad. But you're also drawing 1 card. And I guess, like, I mean, we're not, like, 2 husks isn't going to make or break us, I feel like, so maybe I could just ignore that. It's early yet. Xaxos will have enough to get the charge up on his own turn. I would like to be able to see the Vortex deck, by the way. I don't think there's a way for me to do that. Can I submit feedback? I can. I'm not sure how... Unless there's a way to do it that I can't see. Like, if I say, Jade, take a turn, we could see it, but I don't want to have to do that. Oh, well. What about the discard 3? We're not really worried about that right away, are we? Unleash, any player suffers 4 damage. And this is a heal one, right? Any player gains 1 life. So, worst comes to worst, we can heal. We do have heal means here. I'm going back and forth between all my options. 3-player games always make me feel like, alright, this is a big decision. Whose turn should I take? If Xaxos takes a turn, he can get the charge up. He can spend 2 ether to get a Jade. And that would help him charge up faster. Let's just have Kadir do it. I'm looking at Kadir. I'm just gonna have Kadir do it. And I have an extra one. We can damage the Carapace Queen. We have damaged Carapace Queen. So spell. And with 4 ether. Let's just get more ignites. We only have 5 of those, right? Yeah. But getting as many as we can on Jay and Kadir, I think, is prudent. So there's that. And I could do this now, but there's only 2 things in here. So I'm just gonna end the turn. Alright, we're ending with the Carapace Queen turn. That's not ideal. We want to avoid that as much as we can. We want to end with a player turn so that we could use Xaxos's power to make sure that we don't have, like, quadruple Carapace Queen turns. But can't do anything about that now. Alright, here we have 4 + 1 ether. I can get you a Vortex deck spell, and with 2 ether left over, we have a Vortex deck spell now, but I feel like I'm not really as worried about getting this focused up just yet, so let's get spending power. Alright, so who wants to discard? Kadir could discard... Well, all of these players could discard 3 crystals. Xaxos... Well, Xaxos doesn't need to charge up this round. He already has it charged up. I would like for Xaxos to not have an empty turn, though. But he could discard a spark and 2 crystals and then be able to buy another Jade, or hasn't. Did he buy a Jade yet? Oh, he did buy a Jade. Yeah, we can buy another Jade. But you're also going to draw a card. That's right. And you're going to draw the Jade. Oh, that's fitting. Okay. You're going to draw a Spark. Kadir's going to draw a Spark. And with Kadir, we also want to try to get people to have spells, right? So actually getting a Searing Ruby for any of these players would be nice. Let's have Xaxos get it. If there is at least one husk in play, prevent damage dealt to this minion, and your persistent is to place a husk into play. And we didn't get this done. That's tragic. Someone's gonna suffer 4 damage then. Womp womp. I don't know, let's have Jay take it. Gravehold suffers damage equal to this minion's current life, then this minion suffers 1 damage. Alright, I see how this is going. Oh, lots of things we have to worry about now. We can't damage Broodwomb until we got rid of all the husks. We are going to keep getting husks due to Broodwomb. And Haze Spewer is going to damage Gravehold equal to its current life. And if we don't damage it at all, Gravehold's going to take 15 damage because math. Because 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 is 15. It is what is called a triangular number, fun fact. So let's use this spell. I think we want to save Gravehold a little bit more. It's a wild card, so that should deal 3 damage, right? Yes, indeed. And then the gems, I can get this. Do need to get a little more powerful spells, though. Especially people that can even use spells. Kadir has Ignite. Jay has Spark. Ignite does more damage, but Xaxos doesn't have this charged, or has this fully charged up. He doesn't need that charge, but that would get rid of the Haze Spewer. So I'm going to do that. And then Jay gets a charge, so that's good. 3 gems. Focus this to put a Spark there, and that ends this turn. Alright, so that's good. Unleash twice and any player gains 2 charges or Gravehold suffers 4 damage. Unleashing twice is going to put us in the range where Gravehold suffers 5 damage, but we don't have any more Carapace Queens this turn. And we will be set up for Xaxos to use his power and reveal the entirety of the turn order deck, so that's good. I think this is okay. And let's give the charges to Jay. She can use Vortex spells twice. That might be good. Come on. Alright, gems. Nothing costs 3 ether in this game. Interesting. We have no 3s. So getting 3 ether isn't going to do anything, so we might as well just regain a life. We have 2 ether. Spell. And in order for me to get this spell in, I have to focus that. End the turn. And that puts us at J. Okay, so we have Xaxos here now. Allies collectively gain 4 charges. Blah, 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 blah. So let's give 1 to Jay so that she has that charged up, and then we can give the other 3 there. Alright, so how do we want to order this? So the Persistent is going to add a minion. Or add a husk. If she swarms, we have to discard a prep spell. It's probably a good idea to not have her go 2 turns in a row. And it's probably good. So let's end with the wild, probably. and then have the Carapace Queen right in front of that. So Carapace Queen Wild are the N2, so that we could charge and figure out the next round based on what the Carapace Queen has just done. But we don't want the Carapace Queen to go next because that's going to potentially have a swarm. So Kadir can currently deal 3 damage to the husks, and Jay could deal 2 damage, and that will bring us down to no husks, and then we could damage the brood womb. Xaxos does not have any damage dealing capabilities at the moment, so it might not make sense to even do all of that per se, but it would get us a little out of danger range there. So I guess that's Jay and Kadir in any order: Carapace Queen, Xaxos, Carapace Queen, and then Wild. And you do need to make sure that we try to have Xaxos go when he has the spell that so if he does flare, we always want Xaxos to go in front of another hero so that this deals 3 damage. But he does not have that this round, or this turn. He will not have that next turn. Alright, so Vortex deck. We have 5 if we go with the Vortex deck, 4 if we don't. But this does get me another spell, and we can give Jay a Jade. And then Jay goes again. And let's suffer damage to do this. And Xaxos gains a charge. We always have to charge Xaxos with that when capable. So gems. And 2 spells. And if I focus this, which is expensive, we can get one of these spells to get a +1. And we would ideally like the breach, the vortex breach, or the vortex spell to get the +1, since we can cast that many times with the spell storm. In fact, the spell storm with a vortex spell in the vortex breach is especially powerful. Is that worth spending that much on? We have 4+1 again. We have a lava bolt, which also happens to be over here, fun fact. But the lava bolt, unlike the other things, has durability, and if it goes to 0 durability, we lose it. So we can't really have it gain too much damage. It is strong damage, though. But we have these 2 spells. We have to do something with these 2 spells, I think. Yeah, let's open up the Vortex Breach, or focus the Vortex Breach, and get the Vortex spell there. Do we want to use this right now? It would certainly... Casting it once would do enough damage to destroy the husks. Casting it a second time will do 4. Casting it the 3rd time will get rid of the brood womb. I think that's actually worth it. Alright, there we go. We don't have to worry about the brood womb. Yay! And that got destroyed, so it's gone. And then Kadir. We know entirely the order of things here, but still. Alright, so no more husks. I guess I could have planned around that and been able to have the Carapace Queen turn now, so if any husks did enter play, we would be able to deal with it, but that's fine. Prep the spell, play the gems for ether. We want spells. We want these. We want those, for sure. Carapace Queen swarms. Alright, that gets 4 husks. And Xaxos can't do anything about it, but can charge. Prep that spell. To discard, spend 6 ether, power 2, unleash twice. Okay. If Kadir takes the turn, Xaxos gets the charge, and then we can do it. So let's do that. So charge, sorry, do the spell. I don't know if we're in a particular rush. I don't think we are to deal more damage, so let's just damage 1. It's 1 damage for 1 husk, so it's not really worth it. It was important to get rid of the boom. Xaxos gains the charge. Xaxos can now reveal the turn order deck. And then I have to do this. Okay, so charge, 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 charge. And if Xaxos has 2 turns, he would be able to do this, but for that to happen, we wouldn't end on a wild turn. Because we'd have to use the wild turn and then Xaxos for that to work. Kadir has 2 sparks, and Jay has 1 spark. So that would do 3 damage. It would get rid of the remaining husks if we needed it to. The other thing to concern ourselves with is spending 6 ether. So is there anyone that can spend 6 ether? Xaxos can. And I forget what this does. It was unleashed twice. So unfortunately, Xaxos isn't going to be able to afford as many charges if he does that. But leading with Xaxos to get rid of this power, at least minimizes Carapace Queen's harm. And he doesn't have it. He could have that spell there. We could do Xaxos and then Wild, and then the spell could deal 3 damage. Xaxos is sitting healthy at 10 HP, so he could use it to wipe out all the husks. So that would require me to use Xaxos and Wild, meaning I have to end with either Kadir or Jay. So it'd be Xaxos, Wild, Carapace Queen, Kadir or Jay, Carapace Queen, Jay or Kadir. And Kadir does have 2 sparks. So I guess maybe it would be better to have Kadir go after the first Carapace Queen's turn in case she does unleash, we can get rid of the husks. So Xaxos, Wild, Carapace Queen, Kadir, Carapace Queen, Jay. And nothing costs 3 ether, so let's have Jay regain the health. And you could actually do this. You have 4 spells. You can get many of these. And actually, okay, so let's take this back a step. Let's use this to get back all of the charge ones, and then we can put charge. Oh shoot, this isn't open. Okay, let's take that back one more step. I have to open this. I thought this one was open because I'm dumb. Actually, there is something that costs 3 ether. It's that one. So actually, let's take this one more step back. Let's gain an ether, play the gems, open this breach, and not do that. Let's return all the charge ones. Let's place 2 charges there, and then a charge and a spark there. So now Kadir can give 3 charges to Xaxos even if after he's spending all of his ether. That's good. Very good. Alright, so that, and then prep that, play the gems. And you know what I just realized? I did not order this appropriately. Can I go back that far? I cannot. Okay. So I should have done Xaxos, Carapace Queen, and then the Wild. because this is not going to do what I want it to do. But instead, I guess you can give Jay or Kadir a turn. So Kadir's going after Jay. She will be able to deal with whatever the Carapace Queen plays. So having Jay go now, probably better. Play the gems. We have 2 spells. Let's put the Vortex spell in the Vortex Breach. Prep that spell there. Discard that. To discard 2 cards in hand. It costs 4 ether twice. Power 2, unleash twice. Gravehold suffers 3 damage. Okay. We have all these spells here, and now there's nothing to target other than Carapace Queen. Well, I guess that's not the worst thing in the world. We might be able to just defeat Carapace Queen and not deck her. Are we in tier 2 yet? We're in tier 2, yes. Alright, 3 ether, nothing costs 3 ether, not even opens or focuses. Getting this charged up was actually really good, so let's do that. To discard, lose 4 charges. Power 2, Carapace Queen Swarms. Unleash Carapace Queen Swarms. So, yeah, we still have these. Oh, I forgot about those. Okay, well, that's fine. It's because I had that closed after having done stuff. Oh, we're not going to get that charged at all. Okay. All right. You cannot discard for that. We're not going to have any information on the next round, so this is almost certainly going to happen. This, lose 4 charges. You could do. And that might be worth it. This will take out all the husks. Jay's health is the one I've been sacrificing the most, and I'm not happy with that. I need those, so skip that. And then just do that. Prep that spell, play the gems, charge, lose the charges. Alright. No information on this next round. Kadir goes. Kadir also cannot get rid of that thing. Spell, gems. Do I want anything that costs 4 ether? I can get another one of these ignites. And Kadir is the most capable, although I guess this works during any player's main phase. But it might work most effectively for Kadir because Xaxos is trying to keep spending power for charges. Jay is focused on getting Vortex Breach stuff, which can never open. We have Lava Bolt, but it's a temporary measure. Blasting Staff, which being able to cast a prep spell you prepped this turn is pretty nice, but that will take a while for it to actually activate. Blast Core for more ether. Searing Ruby for more ether. I'm kind of inclined to go with the life. Let's go with the life. With your 3 ether, you can open that so that your charge would eventually allow you to prep to 3 breaches. Alright, so what happened? I thought something happened that didn't happen. Unleash twice. Okay. I thought it was the Swarm, Unleash Swarm, but it wasn't. Now we have the attack, Unleash twice, any player suffers 2 damage. Let's have Kadir take that. Carapace Queen Swarm 2. Husks have 2 life. Damage husks, heal to life. at the end of each turn. Power 3, Carapace Queen swarms. Alright, this is where it gets hairy. There are 10 husks. They have 20 health. Alright, so the good news is we are ending on a hero turn. We have to give Xaxos enough charges. He could do that himself. He'd also get a relic that lets him gain a charge for free, but it's at the expense of not getting charges this round. But that will also help charge allies, so it might pay itself off. I'm not really happy about all the things there. That's there. We can't really get you charged up before your turn. Why is this one flashing? Why is that particular husk flashing? This one's the super husk. I'm really not happy at that damage, at that health. I mean, obviously, this is a Carapace Queen card. It's always going to appear. We at least got rid of the Brood Womb because it would be impossible to get rid of if all the husks had 2 life. But that was a bad time to have all of that swarming happen. I'm trying to decide if I should ignore the husks or if I should focus on the husks. Carapace Queen is down to 35. Jay, however, so most of the damage came from Jay, or not even from Jay. We've just been whittling her down. But I would really like to do a Spectral Echo chain with Jay. Put Spectral Echo into the Vortex Breach, and then use her Spellstorm to have it deal 4, 5, and 6 damage. That would deal 15 damage, and then we'd have 20 left over that we need to do. Kadir also, if she charges this up, could get lots of spells set up. But she's not prepped for that yet. Flare, we know it's going to reveal a player card right now. But I would be able to charge up Xaxos effectively unless Kadir and Jay take their turns and we end on Xaxos. And then I would be able to buy what I wanted with Xaxos. If I can get the Mage's Talisman on Xaxos, that's nice. You mean a husk is flashing you? I don't know, there's just so many husks with 2 health right now that I feel like there's not much purpose to even damaging them. I could be entirely wrong, because if she unleashes and then swarms, we lose. It's going to explode! It's flashing because it's going to explode! Alright, I'm going to hope that the next turn is a Jay turn, so Kadir will take her turn. Damage husks. And taking 1 damage to damage 1 extra husk does nothing. Xaxos gains a charge. Play the gems. Spell, spell, spell. Charge. Alright, Jay, good. Very good. Kadir killed the Throbby. That's his name now, is Throbby. Alright, if you charge 3 times, you'll have enough gems to charge another time, and then you can do the Spectral Echo thing I wanted you to do. Alright, Xaxos. Oh shoot. This is not in the right order. Arrgh! Well, is there any harm in putting this off? I don't think there is, because you don't have a spell right now. So I'm not gonna do this yet, but I do want Xaxos' next turn to come in front of a player turn. So play the gems, do this. That actually charges up all of those. I guess I probably didn't need to do all that because, okay, whatever. So Jay with Spark and with her super duper turn. This is going, we said that was going to deal 15 plus the 1 is 16. That is enough to take out all the husks. So let's start with Jay just to get that over with. And then let's do a Carapace Queen turn so we see what we have to do next. Then it has to be Xaxos because Xaxos can use his spell as long as Kadir comes next. Then a Carapace Queen, then a Wild. Notice that I'm trying to stagger the Carapace Queen turns so that we don't have a twofer that I can't do anything about. And we end on the Wild, and as long as Xaxos gets this charged back up somehow. So you could return 2 spells from your discard pile. Your discard pile is empty, so there's no reason in doing that. You don't even have any spells. You only have sparks. Alright, so do this. Play... Oh, I have to focus. Oh shoot, I can't even focus that. Shoot. That is not ideal. Go back. We have to go back! Well, the issue wasn't that Spark doesn't kill a husk, it does deal 1 damage. But the issue that we have that's a little more important is we don't have enough ether on Jay to do the turn I wanted to do. Because Spark does 1, and Spectral Echo will deal 4 plus 5 plus 6, which is 15. 15 plus 1 is 16, which is enough damage to take out all the husks as long as Jay takes 3 damage. That was my thinking, however, I don't have enough to focus that breach. So, I mean, we're still doing this. But Kadir has 3, 2, and 1. That would take out 3 of the husks. Yes, damage to husks is recovered at the end of the turn. I'm damaging them and killing them before the turn ends. Because if I were doing the vortex thing I wanted to do, I'd be doing 16 damage before the end of the turn. So, I mean... Yeah, getting out of Gravehold suffering damage range is better. So it's probably a bit better to do Kadir and then Carapace Queen, Xaxos, Jay, Carapace Queen, Wild. So by that, end turn, end anyway. Three ether's not going to do anything. You would have 5 spells. But if we do this, if we use the wild turn to get Kadir to have this set up, she could prep all of her sparky or chargy spells, which would be nice. So let's do this. We have 2 ether left over. Okay, so I'll get spending power. I mean, I don't have to spend ether, but do we have the one that says destroy? We do not. Consuming void would destroy. So we could destroy crystals that way someday. Player with the lowest life suffers 2 damage, or any player discards a prep spell that costs 3 ether or more. Well, doing this damage to take out 1 husk seems like a waste. So let's use it on this guy. Just because I don't want to take more damage when I'm using it to destroy husks. I guess we're like doing really good on health though, but still. Gems. Spell. We have not focused any of your breaches, Xaxos. We've been more focused on getting this charged up. We do not have any focuses over here, so we have to spend all of this here to get this charged up. Jay can do 1 damage, so this should not go to a husk. And you only have 3 ether. You could purchase the lava bolt with that. You could purchase a gem with that. And your spending power was actually not good enough to get the vortex spell, so we do need to worry about your spending power. That said, we do have 2 spells here. I guess I could save this spectral echo. We're going to get 3 crystals. And then an ignite. That's not going to be enough either. Unless I don't spend all of the ether. Because all I needed for that was 2. I can prep that spark. And now I will draw 3 ether. So I'll have 4 that I can use to focus the vortex breach. I could prep spectral echo to that. And then I can cast spell storm to be able to use spectral echo 3 times, it dealing 4, 5, and 6 damage. That seems like a good idea to me. Unleash twice. The player with most prep spells discards their most expensive prep spell. Well, that's annoying. They're both sparks. Or they're all sparks. Also, I don't like this persistent. It's making Jay weaker. Okay. Whew. What should we do? Any one of these players could take a turn. If Kadir takes a turn, she can get these charges prepped for the next round. Which will help Xaxos get charged up after using this on Kadir's turn. If Jay takes the turn, we could do a lot of damage with the Spectral Echo. One of those hits would take out the Venomite, and we would have a 4 and a 6. Otherwise, that would deal 10, could take out 5 of the husks. Oh yeah, and that is a swarm, so we want to get rid of all of these before the swarm turn. Well, Jay could do that in the next round. So probably have Kadir go. That damage there is fine. Play the gems. Let's not prep that spell yet. Let's return Ignite, Ignite, and you only have Sparks left. That's all you can return to hand. So do 2 Ignites there, 2 there. Then we can have Metaphysical Link go off. That will charge this almost back up to max right away. And now we have to think a little bit. Kadir could do 3 and 3 and 2 and 1, which is 9. And Jay could do 1, 4, 5, and 6. If we do the 4 on this guy, that's going to be 1, 5, and 6 is 12, which would take out 6 of the husks. So between Kadir and Jay, we can wipe the husks out, and we can get rid of the minion. And Kadir would also give 3 charges to Xaxos. Xaxos has the relic that grants him a charge. We would want both Kadir and Jay to go before a Carapace Queen turn. Xaxos doesn't need to follow or come before an ally because he doesn't have that spell prepped. So we could have Kadir, Jay, Carapace Queen, Xaxos, Carapace Queen, and Wild. But whatever Carapace Queen does, Xaxos won't be able to most effectively deal with it. Like, we're going to swarm and then some other play, and he could spark one of the husks away because we'll be done with this stupid power. But if she does unleash, we're still not going to be back in the tier 1 swarm. But getting rid of those husks before the swarm is prudent, I think. So, let's see. I don't think it really matters between Kadir and Jay which goes first. Carapace Queen, Xaxos, Wild, Carapace Queen. 4 ether left over. You can get that last ignite. Alright. You're going to be taking damage for all of these. And then I have a spark here, but doing that damage to Venomite isn't going to make sense, so this can just go to Carapace Queen. 4 ether, possibly 5. And you have all of those ignites down there now. Except there's one over there. But we can get this actually almost... You can, like, get this set up again really quickly. Which is cool. You could also have Xaxos give you that charge. And Xaxos' power grants 4 charges, so I feel like I don't even need to pay for charges anymore. Really. Does it make sense to get a blasting staff now? Because we have a bunch of spells we can get prepped with Kadir's thing, and then a blasting staff, we can cast one immediately. That might make sense to get. So let's get that. Let's heal a life on Jay, because she suffered a lot, and then put the spark there. And now Jay can get rid of the remaining husks. This damage... I think I wanted it here. So we're gonna get a 4, 5, 6. The 4 goes there. 1, 5, 6 is 12. So there's an overload of damage already. That's fine. I have to focus. Prep that spell, do the charge, cast this here, take a damage. Or no, I'm doing this wrong, aren't I? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All right, the game's smart enough to know I have enough damage to kill all the husks. Good. And that's all it can do. Carapace Queen Swarms, unleash twice, and Gravehold suffers 3 damage. Replace the most recently discarded minion card in the Nemesis pile into play. Well, now that the husks are down to 1 again, unleashing isn't that bad. But Venomite doing 2 damage to Jay, since we can't effectively deal with it, doesn't seem good. So let's just unleash twice. Gravehold is doing exceptionally well this game. 1 damage to this one doesn't really seem to be too effective, but do that. It doesn't matter who gets this, really. You do need to spend on that, because you're not going to get charged up before the wild turn, unless we have you go off, but I want Kadir to go off again. You have 2 ether. Do I want to spend that on that Jade? I was trying to save those for Jay, because she needs the ether to afford this vortex breach. Let's just get it. Because then you have it. Oh, I wanted to end on the wild turn. Shoot. I set this up wrong. Shoot. Oh, shoot. And then I can't do the thing effectively. Shoot. Dang it. Oh, I could focus a breach. Well, he has no spells. He has 2 spells. He has 1 breach. It doesn't matter. This is not really good. Well, I can't do anything about it. Kadir takes the turn. Let's get out of Gravehold range. It's not going to... 1 extra husk isn't going to make or break it. Power. Return, return, return. Prep, 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 prep. Gems. 3 ether. I just want you to charge. I'm gonna save this for the next round. The head of the next round. Carapace Queen swarms twice, or any player suffers 4 damage. If she swarms twice, we discard a prep spell, we get 2 husks into play, and then Gravehold suffers 5 damage. A player taking 4 damage is actually much better. Is this tier 3 yet? No, it's still tier 2. Xaxos is at full. Xaxos can take it. Okay, so we have no idea what is happening this round. So if Kadir goes, we can wipe the board of husks at the expense of her taking 2 damage. And then we could still use Xaxos's charge to look at the remaining turn, and then we can decide what to do from there. So get rid of those. Alright, I was hoping to be able to use this to charge Xaxos back up, I guess. But I guess we could have Jay go. Actually, yeah, let's take this back. Let's have Jay go instead. If Jay goes, Xaxos could still use his charge. And then when we can have Kadir go next to give 4 charges to Xaxos. And that way we're not wasting these extra charges on Jay. And Jay does not have a vortex spell in hand, but we can get Kadir charged back up with Xaxos' power. After Kadir does her turn, she can get these prepped back. Oh boy, this is getting ridiculous. So let's have Jay go. Let's not do that yet. We might want to hold on to that. Maybe not. We have no vortex spell. We destroyed all of them. We have to get one. Okay. Xaxos does this. Allies collectively gain 4. Let's give that to Kadir. And we can have Kadir go next. Carapace Queen can go, and then we can respond to that. We need to end with a Xaxos turn. Or maybe not Xaxos necessarily, but Jay has this charge that she can give Xaxos. So let's have Jay, Carapace Queen, Xaxos. All right, we did that correctly. So we can prep that spell. We want to purchase that vortex spell so that we have one to put in here for purposes. You have 3 ether left over. You want spending power, so let's give you spending power. Do you want to hold on to that crystal? You don't need to. And then Kadir wipes the husks away. And then damage. We have nothing else to damage, so these go to Carapace Queen now. And we have a blasting staff in hand now. Great. So I can return 3 of these ignites back to hand. I can prep 2 spells there. I can prep 2 spells here. I can use a blasting staff to use one of my ignites right now to give Xaxos a charge. Which I guess Jay was going to give Xaxos a charge, but now she doesn't need to. Gems. Let's give a hit point to Jay. And let's charge. This is like the first time that I feel like I've been in control for most of this game. I feel like I've been playing this game really well this time, unlike most of my other games where I'm flying by the seat of my pants, unable to figure out what I'm doing or to make it work. Gravehold suffers 3 damage, or any player discards a gem in hand. Repeat this 5 times. And we have 1 turn to prepare for this. Well, we don't really need the gems too much anymore, so that's fine. We have a lot of focus now on the Carapace Queen. Might as well... We're not going to get that Vortex spell. Or maybe we are at the next round. But we have enough ether to afford the focus. But I do have 2 sparks that I want to get rid of. So I guess I might as well focus this to put a spark there so that it gets a +1. So I feel like we might just be able to defeat Carapace Queen now. So let's take out gems that we don't need. To discard, spend ether. Power 1, the player with the most charges suffers 4 damage and loses all of their charges. If we just focus the next turn, like if we arrange this to have all the turns be hero turns, we should be able to do this. You have these that can give charges to Jay. Xaxos will go first because he has that spell. And then Kadir goes to give Jay charges. Jay can go, and then we can figure out what to do from there. So, spell, gems, and the only thing that will make sense here is charging. Like, Xaxos has not bought many things. Like I've actually, like, this is the first time I've had a mage that I just have outright not bought spells for. Xaxos has bought a Jade, has bought a Searing Ruby, has bought a Mage's Talisman, has bought a Jade, but has not bought anything else. And that's, yeah, that's 14 cards. So he bought 4 cards, and then he's been doing the rest on charging. He didn't even focus at all. Really weird for me to do that. But I think I'm kind of understanding now that, like, part of this game is figuring out how to divide your mages into different focuses. So Xaxos' focus was charging. I guess he did. Did he buy a spell? Did we destroy it? No. What spell did he buy? This is not. This is his basic spell, or it's his unique spell. But yeah, like, so Xaxos' focus was getting Metaphysical Link perpetually charged so that we can control the turn order deck and make sure we know exactly how to react to Carapace Queen things. Kadir was in charge of getting spells, especially with her charge. She can get many spells prepped, and we kept getting the ones that provided charges to Xaxos. And then Jay, well, her focus is to get the damage. Kadir and Jay have been the damage MVPs, but Xaxos has been the great, you know, deck control MVP as well. All right, so that reveals Kadir, so that's going to deal 3 damage. And play the gems, use that relic. We have 4, so I can already charge this back up. I don't really think there's a reason to do that, but there's not a reason to do anything else. We can get 4 charges to Jay, but Jay's also going to get 4 charges off of Kadir, so that's that. Spells are superfluous. Did I not prep that spark? Or no, sorry, that's the one card she had after we discarded all of her things. Okay, that makes sense. That. And then do that to get 3 of these back. Prep. And you can get 4 charges if you use this. But you can't really do anything with that. And then J goes. J damages. Plays gems. Focuses this breach. Preps that. Charges this to deal this 4 times. Or 3 times. And wins the game. We did it! We are still undefeated against Carapace Queen. And that was a really exciting game. Gravehold suffered 6 damage. 60 spells were cast. He gained 18 cards, but gained 76 charges. So that's cool. And all of these mages are 2 to 1. That's funny. All right. That was fun. Lots of strategy and strategery, and hopefully you learned something as well as I did. So great. That wraps up the Aeon's End part of the stream. Let's now move on to the one deck dungeon part of the stream. That is a new animation. Didn't expect the blob to just pop up at the bottom of the screen. I don't know if that was showing on stream yet, but we got a blob. All right, so here, what's our statistics like? Here's where our math becomes a bit harder because I played more one deck dungeon than Aeon's End. 19, 13, 16, 15, 14, 7, 14, 19, 13, 14, 13, 19, 12, 12. So some 12s. Mist is low because Mist is newest. So it looks like if I'm going to do a 2-player game, it should be Mist and Slayer or Warden. But I always do 2-player matches. Let's do a 1-player with Mist because Mist. And then the least played dungeon here, 28, 7, 11, 9, 8, 8, 5, 7, 26, 9, 6, 7. The 5, the Hellhound is the least. Which is this one. Very agility heavy. And then some mana here. So single player Mist has lots of mana, not much strength. But with prep, you can store a strength 3 or agility here and replaces this with Chaos Arc. Chaos Arc can be used immediately and can be used to use the strength 3 or agility 3 or turns them into 6s and then you can use them the next round. But when you use Chaos Arc, then you can't prep that round. So either you use 2 6s every 2 rounds or you use 2 3s every 2 rounds. Which means that she can be very good with strength and agility. We do, well, we can't use that against the boss, right? That's not a, never, none of those are ever boss things. But we will want to build up her agility if we do go with the Hellhound route. Let's do that. No reason really not to. Now, She does have a lot of mana. Usually that would mean we would go with the mana focus, but saving mana for prep would be maybe a good idea. But Force Bolt at least guarantees that we get the strength or agility that we need. Unless we want to go for the peril ones, because those are auto skills. I mean, I feel like I always just go with Force Bolt. Let's not use Force Bolt. Also, we have, how much do we have? We can use an extra skill or item, and we have an extra health. And we have none of these. Oh, no, we do. We have Fearlessness. Oh, hey, we have Fearlessness on her. All right, this is free. So let's not go with Force Bolt then. And I don't think I really care about the armor one, because we don't have armor on the boss. And she doesn't have much agility. So, and we need a lot of agility for the boss, and I don't want to waste the strength dice. I guess, like, I mean, actually, like, spending a strength die to get 2 strength 3s would help with the second floor. We would ignore those strength things on the right, but I don't know. Ingenuity at least makes perils less perilous. And inventiveness makes the easy peril option more enticing. Let's go with inventiveness. Let's go with inventiveness. Standard, forest, or hybrid? I wish there were statistics on which deck you have used more often. Is there statistics for that? Most of my gameplay setup is what have I not done the most? Let's do that instead. But no, it doesn't say that on here. I like hybrid. In a hybrid game, if you succeed in a poison roll, you don't remove a poison token. And I really like Cure and Aid, which makes me not want to use Cure and Aid. I kind of just want to do things I don't normally do just so I can experiment a little bit. Because if you always play the same game every time, it's not fun, right? Like, I never really use Fortune, but I kind of just want to use the base healing potion. Because healing a damage whenever a potion is used or gained, or heal 1 damage anytime. I mean, that allows me to use other things. Maybe I should save my healing only on healing. Let's do that instead. Alright, so Mist and Cinder Plains, let's go. Also, when we use a potion, when we spend a potion token, we also spend 2 times, so might be good to try to avoid spending potion tokens. All right, so fun fact, I think I point this out every single time I play a hybrid game. You can actually tell which dungeon or which deck the card belongs to based on the door. These are 2 forest doors, these are 2 base game doors. I don't know the decks well enough to know which one I would want. You could even get information as to what's available by looking at the discard pile and seeing what we've already discarded. But you can't actually, oh, I guess you can see that it's a forest door there. Actually, you guys can also tell which deck it is based on the leaf symbol or the dungeon symbol. But I don't know enough information. I'm going to pick this door and I will regret it immediately because it's the Razor Bark. But Flame Walk is ridiculous. That gives me 5 strength and 6 agility at the expense of 6 mana. That makes up for most of my mana, or most of my strength and agility issues already. We will exile a heroic die and a strength die for that. Is it worth taking this on, even if I will take consequences? We'll take 3 damage, 3 poison, 2 time. That's a lot of poison. But we will be able to cover some of these squares, I'm sure. So, YOLO. Not a good mana roll. Not a good heroic roll. Not a good agility roll either. And using prep would be expensive. I would be spending these dice. But these dice wouldn't be doing anything else, right? That's 7. Even if I used this mana, I would have 12. And even if I converted these to heroics, I would have 14. So I have no dream of covering the 15 square. I can, however, cover the 2, but I can also do that by converting to a heroic. So the rest should go into prep. Oh, right. I misread this. I mean, I know how this works. I just keep misreading things. I can get 3 dice. I thought it was get both strength 3 and then agility 3. I can still do that, but it's 3 dice. Let's get 2 strengths and an agility. And yeah, using mana skills is good for focus. And let's turn them... Oh, nope, that was not what I wanted to do. I want to add 3 to them. Because getting those dice would not help. So that's a lot of consequences. But it's fine. Everything's fine. I have no potions. Alright, so we have inventiveness, so it's only 1 time to clobber logs. Or no time to dodge logs. However, this is obnoxious. We can focus. But even if I focus, I won't have enough dice to avoid all the consequences. And if I clobber the logs, I'll survive. If I dodge the logs, I will also survive. But I'll spend an extra time, but that's equivalent to clobbering the logs. I think I want to flee from this, because I think I don't want to take that many consequences. Especially with a poison roll that I have a 50% chance of failing. Rune Circle, on the other hand. This should be doable. Swiftness Aura gives me an agility 3, but that's not really exciting. The useful thing is that it can be used in perils and will make agility perils less perilous. But I can get a mana item, which will make me more able to do things with mana. And I'll have enough to cover all the squares. It's the glooping ooze. We should be able to do this, right? We will definitely be using a mana skill, so we want to use this die. Very useful die, thank you. We can do this roll. Not really a good roll. We do have something for that too. But let's do Fearlessness first. That gives us a 5. And then, do I want to do Flame Walk? Well, I should do Flame Walk regardless, but do I have enough to spend on Flame Walk after covering the squares I need to cover? And I can do that with my heroics. But is that going to be useful? I mean, I guess we also have a 4 that I get out of it, so I could like save this 5 maybe. Yeah, and if I do that, that's enough to save this 5 and put it on a strength square. That will give me a strength 5 that can go on one of these squares. It'll give me an agility 6 that can synergize with this 5 to make another heroic that can cover another square. That just leaves this 6, which I could Chaos Arc for, but that seems wasteful. But definitely Flame Walk with this. And yeah, actually I don't have anything for that 6 now. I don't know why I put that 5 there. I mean, there's no way I can cover the 6 without using Chaos Arc. I think I would rather take the consequences. Chaos Arc is my elixir. I have to save it for an emergency. Armor Crush. Spend a strength to gain an agility 6. I don't have many strength. Mana die. So like I'm at my cap, or no, I can have one more skill. Never mind. I keep forgetting in a one-player game you can have more skills. I think I want the experience because the mana die would use up Crafty. I would have 6 mana dice, which is certainly a lot of mana. But I can get closer to having the heroic die if I take the 3 experience. Now I'm 50% likely to fail this, and I did, but failing it does remove a poison, so that's good. But this is a little more scary. Bolster is trivial, so I'll do that. I don't have a mana peril skill. So Barrage is spend 2 agility, roll 3 agility, discard 1 of them. I only have 2 agility, so I'd be spending my 2 agility to reroll. Seems wasteful, unless I use heroics on this. But I don't really care for that. Let's just get a strength item straight up, because the strength has been lacking. I don't like this encounter. Doesn't level me up. Accuracy is too expensive. I'm at my item limit, but I could replace my strength. But it would only give me 2 experience. But I almost certainly don't have enough dice for this. Consequences aren't terrible, though. Although, if I do take damage, then I die, so... Or, not die guaranteed, but... I'm going to flee, and then I'm going to check this door. I don't like all the fleeing I'm doing, but I feel like I don't have many options here. Crushing Fist. Wow. Wow. Just wow. But... definitely blast through. I don't want to die here. And I didn't need it. So Crushing Fist isn't going to help me with the encounters that are still on the floor. Because they were both perils. If I explore and I fail the poison roll, which I am 33% likely to do, I will die. If I take this item, I don't level up, but I can survive the poison roll. If I take the experience, I level up, which gets me a potion token that I can use to heal. And it gets me a heroic die, which will help with the perils. And if I explore, I won't die. So let's take the experience, I feel like. And let's get rid of the poisons, because I can't get rid of them otherwise. So, what changes here? Do I want to try for Spiked Log now? Because Static Burst is a good skill. I have 2 strength dice plus a heroic, but if I fail it, I will die. I mean, so I could go the strength route and focus on covering that 8 with 3 dice, which requires an average of 2.67. An average dice roll is 3.5. So I am likely to do that. But if I roll 7 or less, I will die. If I go for the locked door, I'm still not likely to succeed. If I pick the lock, I have a chance of succeeding. But it's the same situation as the Spiked Log, where it's a 2.67 average roll just to ensure I cover the 8. But if I fail, I don't die, but I do take a damage or 2. And then I don't really get anything great in return. I think I just want to explore, because I don't really like these 2 options. And now that I don't have poison anymore, it's not as terrible to explore. Yet another peril. I don't like these. I want combats because I can use Chaos Arc and not worry about them. Do I flee again? If I dodge vines, I'm more likely to do that. And I can take the agility item, and that might help me in the other. So maybe it will make sense to do this one. Maybe. I barely roll a 7. But 1 damage is better than 1 damage, 1 poison, and 3 time. I could take the potion. I don't like that luck potion. But this agility will help me with this locked door. Let's explore this door to see what's here. It's a peril! Go figure! But I have a magic shield, so it's fine. Okay. Okay. This is a combat skill, but it prevents damage, which is really good. Strength item could potentially help. The experience isn't too good. And how much strength do I need in the Cinder plane or against the Hellhound? I'm already getting a strength 5 from Flamewalk, so I don't need much strength against the Hellhound. I do need strength, though, for most of this dungeon, but I don't need much strength against the Hellhound. Maybe I want to get that strength, though, because that is a lot of strength I have to worry about, ultimately. That will also help me with Clobber Logs, too. So I should be able to Clobber Logs. And in fact, I can do this covering all the squares, even though I rolled 2 1s. That was just perfect. All right, now that gets me Static Burst. If I stay on this floor, I take a damage, and I don't like accuracy. I mean, the mana die could come in handy, but I would rather descend at this point. All right, 1 floor down. Whew. Let's try to not take as much damage. I am getting sick of these perils. Dexterity is at least a good skill. I will grant that. And get that agility 6 will come in handy on the boss, even though I'm already getting one from Flamewalk. And an agility 4 from static burst, which could turn into a 5, or turn the strength 5 into a 6, because this increases any of your dice. So can I do this and not fail? If I climb around, I'm rolling 4 dice, and one of them has to go in that 4. If I fail the climb around, if I fail the rectangle, I die. I don't really like that. I'm gonna just hold off in a moment, because there has to be a combat somewhere. There has to be. There was none. I can disenchant though. That's fine. He said. That kills me, so I have to do this, and I will take 1 damage because I rolled way too many ones, but we survived. Spend an agility to roll 2 strength. That will help me temporarily for the combats. There's a combat. I'll be sad if I can't do this after waiting so long, but I can at least turn an agility into 2 strength, which is good since I have no agility in this fight. Yay! Alright, so fearlessness, let's start there. And then the worst agility turns into backstab, which was awful. You have to spend 6 mana on Flame Walk and 4 mana on Static Burst if we want to use those. I probably want to use up Chaos Arc now, because I am getting pretty low on dice here for all I want to do. So we have a 3, we have a 5, we have a 2 that will go there someday. We have a heroic 6 that can go there. We have a heroic 4 that could go there, but we're possibly getting strength out of Static Burst. I mean, we do have a 5 from Flame Walk, but we do need to cover that 3 somehow. 6 there, 2 there, a 4, a 5. If I convert this to a heroic and then I throw a mana 1 in there. Oh, I'd have to discard. Well, I am not using this strength 1, I guess. And then I just have to get a strength 3, which I can get through Static Burst, so I don't have to use Chaos Arc. Oh, I can get 2 dice on focus. I forgot about that. I'm so used to only being able to store 1 that I forget in a 1-player game you can store 2. Okay, so using both of those skills is good. Got to use both of them as much as I can. Everything's covered, no consequences. So agility item, pulverize. But I don't have strength to pay for it. Let's just take the experience. And I shouldn't have opened that door. I should have gone for the peril, because now I have 2 heroics to do things with. Lots of strength here, but not as much mana required. So I'm going to be using my mana skills, so I should just use focus. I guess it doesn't matter. I can focus anyway through this. All right, fearlessness. And then worst agility into backstab. Those are pitiful strength rolls. And I'm out of strength dice, so before I consider Flame Walk or Static Burst, I should convert some of these to heroics. So those aren't doing anything. This 2 could go there. This 3 could go there. This 1, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with yet. All right. This agility 3 is also not doing much, but one of these, that 4 can go there. Those manas could go there. We're also getting a 4 out of Flame Walk. But what we could do is do 1, 2, 3 this way, and then put the 4 from that into Static Burst. So is there a die that I want to increase by 1? Let's increase the, or I guess the agility we're already fine on. We have a strength 5, strength 3, strength 2. If I turn this strength into a 2, that doesn't do anything. Oh well, now I have more strength. But, as John says, just cover everything. Alright, strength item. I don't want to lose an agility, and I don't want to lose the mana. Spend 3 mana to roll a heroic. I don't want to do that, so I guess it's experience. Alright, now let's do Pit of Spikes. I can climb around, and I'm going to, let's see, we have 4 dice right now. Let's just do all the heroics. I don't want to screw this up. I don't want to die here. I want to make sure we can do this, especially because I'm not rolling. Oh. Is this it? This is it. I'm dead. Grr. Grr. Grr! I'm dead because I'm taking a damage and I only have 6 health. Dang it! Oh well, luck of the dice. Well, let's try again. We'll do better this time. Again, apparel. Of course it's apparel. I'm not gonna bother with that. The Shadow. Heroism. I like that potion. 5 damage and consequences, and I have to cover an agility 10. Oof. And covering that agility 10 doesn't do anything for me other than let me cover other squares. I guess I could, if worst comes to worst, I can prep in Chaos Arc to get as many agility 3s as I can or need. And that will give me a heroic die in focus. So let's consider that route. Yes, I know I'm spending time. Okay, that 6 is good. And let's see, we have a 5, we have a 4, and these 2 manas aren't doing anything. So let's get 2 3s. That's exactly what I need. And then I can use Chaos Arc, which will spend another time, but will get me these 3s. It's okay. We're avoiding as many consequences as we can. I can cover that 5. I can cover that 3. That's worse than the 4. All right, 1 damage, 1 time. That's fine. All right, heroism. I love this potion. I love this potion. Let's take it. I can now have an extra heroic for Bramblefield. I'm not going to do that. Skeleton. If any boxes are empty, spend 2 time, but we get the invisibility potion. All right, we're getting some good potions here. Maybe. I guess I didn't need to roll that, but might as well do the best that we can with what we have. So we need to do a 2, we need to do a 4. We have a 5. We can cover that too. We have a 3 here. And I have a 4. So I don't have enough to effectively prep. Unless I steal that 3, but even then... I mean, I have to prep, right? I have to do something with prep. Can I take that damage? That's 2 damage in 5 time. Or should I use heroism? Should I use heroism? Let's prep and let's get strength, strength, agility, and let's increase them to 6. Even though I can't use them this round. I don't know why this is still flashing, because I don't have anything to put in that. My die is gone. That's the best I can do. Let's just go the potion route this time. Get bailed out of whatever encounter, like this guy. Spend 3 time before the encounter and then have a really tough time, or spend 2 time and skip to the claim loot phase. Especially because I don't have enough strength to cover all this unless I use Chaos Arc. This 4 is still flashing. That's a bug. At this point, it's a bug. It was always a bug, but it used to be a bug too. I feel like I definitely don't have enough dice for this, so I'm gonna just invisibility to bypass this encounter outright. Now, what do I want from this? I don't have enough dice for flurry. The agility I don't think is really going to help against the peril, but it's something. The 4 experience is also really good, but I might be able to do this if I can roll 10 with these 3 dice. I rolled 10 with these 3 dice. Good. For once, I cleared the board. Balanced attack, I don't have enough strength for that. Agility item or 2 experience. Let's just focus on agility this time, I guess, because that's the route we seem to be taking. We have the bandit, who wants lots of agility, so it's good we have agility. We should be able to Chaos Arc if needed. We don't have a mana skill anymore, so we're not able to focus unless I use Chaos Arc, so I probably want to use Chaos Arc, even though I can't use the mana skill right away. But something to consider. It's also my main way of getting strength dice, apparently. 3, 4. This can give me a strength, but I would have to use Chaos Arc, so let's just use Chaos Arc to get that and make this trivial. And now I can prep next turn. All right, cleave, spend a strength, increase up to 4 of your dice by 1 each, but I don't have strength for this unless I use an agility or use a heroic. It's a really good skill, but I can't afford it right now. And this ogre, well, that's why we have invisibility potions, I guess. I don't like brute force. I'm at my item limit. Experience would level me up. I definitely don't have enough strength here. 9 damage is a lot. Let's just invisibility it. And take the experience. That levels me up and gets a potion back. Alright, that's good enough. Skip the use heroic feat step, but I get fireball. I want fireball, regardless of what happens here. I will survive, maybe. Maybe. Alright, I got a strength 2. Good. I have a mana 6 to cover that. I have enough agility to cover the agilities. So 2 damage and 2 time. 2 time would make me take a damage. I'd be at 6 damage. If I use heroism, I would be able to cover the damage ones. I would take the time damage still. But if I use a healing potion instead, which I've neglected to do really, or no, I did it last game. If I take 3 damage here, I would still be able to use the potion and be at 3. So really, healing is better than heroism in this instance. Is there a way I could have done this differently, though? If I convert these to heroics, I use heroism. I won't have enough for... Yeah, I would definitely not have enough still to cover everything, and damage and 2 poison is not good. Okay, so let's just prep then. And we probably just want 3 strengths. Because we have a lot of agility right now. But what does Ice Room give me? It gives me a mana and a strength. I don't know, let's just stick with 2 strength, 1 agility. That seems like a nice trade. I'll take 2 damage and a 3rd damage from the floor, but I can heal that back, so that should be fine. And we want Fireball. But if I stay on this floor and then I heal, I'll spend 2 time and then... No, let's stay on the floor. Let's see what this guy is. I don't want to invisibility because that will kill me, unfortunately. Do I want this? This is a really cool skill. Prevent damage and gain an agility 6. That is really good. I would love to invisibility, but I would die! But there's lots of strength here, but I do have Chaos Arc and Fireball and Fearlessness and no need for agility otherwise. But if I take any damage, I die. YOLO. This could be the end of the stream. I could just end it right here. This is definitely focus time. Fearlessness. And then Fireball is really good for Mist because it is a free skill basically, and it gives you a heroic. And we absolutely want Chaos Arc. There's no way of not using Chaos Arc here. So that will almost certainly be heroic. Just cover all the squares. All right, everything's covered. And I can get faint. All right. Before I roll, I'm going to use healing because I need to get rid of that poison. before I do an exploration that makes me have to use a potion, or makes me do a poison roll that could kill me. Dice. Oh no, this one isn't. Okay. Goblin, you absolutely should flee from if it's the first door because you'll spend less time. And that's fine. Oh, jeez. This is dangerous. And I don't like steady hands. And I also don't have my prep ready. So I think if I'm going to do this, I should have prep ready so I have 6s guaranteed. That will make Phantom much less dangerous. Sharp Cliffs. Roll strength and you discard it to gain a heroic 3. or more mana, which we've neglected to get. Or 4 experience. I'm gonna do this. I'm not as free on mana as I was last game. And I still didn't do a flawless encounter here. That is a better consequence. Let's take mana. Alright, Vine Trap. Dodge Vines should be doable. Maybe. Alright, I like this roll. This is a good roll. That luck potion would give me a potion token that I could then use to skip the phantom encounter. Let's do that. Invisibility, by the way, spends 2 ether, or 2 ether, spends 2 time, and also 2 additional time because potion tokens, when used, do things. Yeah, it's terrible. Let's get that strength item. We do need more strength. Goblin, we fight now. So let's do fearlessness. Let's do our 2 worst agilities into feint. Let's do a 2 and a 3 mana into fireball. And I can do this 5 and a 1 into prep. Before I do that, let's see what we can do here. 5, 3, 3 with some waste. 2, 3, 4, 4 with some waste. 4, 4, 6. Okay, all the boxes are covered, so prep can safely be used. Let's do strength, strength, agility like before, and increase them by 2 or 3. And good. We have our 2 dice and focus. No consequences. Everything is hunky dory. Item limit. I don't really care for that blitz skill. So let's just take experience. It's not much experience, but I don't really care for that blitz skill. Vortex Stone. Ooh, invulnerability. Well, that doesn't really do much. It's like a healing potion, but worse. Well, actually, damage prevention is technically better than damage healing because this could stop you from losing the game, whereas you would only be able to heal after you take damage. So technically, it's better than healing, but it's eh. So I mean, it would give you a potion token, but Stabilize Aura is 1 less number and 1 more mana die. So let's stabilize the aura. I have 6 dice, but the last time I felt good about mana, I died. I have 9 health though, so I feel like I shouldn't die. Somehow I got a bunch of health. But there we go. I'm at my item limit. But if I just want to go up to 10 health, I could just replace my agility item with agility and heart. But I don't really particularly care for health increases, really, even though I'm at 9 health now. Because, like, 1 extra health doesn't really save you, really. But I am a little behind on where I like to be. I like to level up once per floor, so I want to take that experience just so I should be able to level up on the next encounter. I could explore 2 more times, potentially, unless I... Ooh, mana potion. That's nice. Can I just run through? If I fail, I should survive. But let's use this die. I don't want to do the time route because that will be 1 fewer door I can explore. But if I fail this, it's not good. But that 6 is good. In fact, we are good. Okay, good. Very good. That mana potion is very tempting. But we do have... Well, we don't have as much mana as we used to. Let's just level up. Make it safer. I get a potion token anyway. And it's the Razor Bark again. But Flame Walk, that's the skill that made this game really nice. Can I do this? We have Chaos Arc, so it should be trivial. We do exile another strength. Or no, we didn't exile yet this game. Okay, let's just do that then. Alright. I do have 2 dice I can put into Feint, but first let's just Fearlessness. Just get rid of the roll skills first, because you can't rewind past them. Fireball, we are going to lose mana. Feint. We lose agility, but we have enough agility left over. I guess we don't necessarily need Chaos Arc, maybe? Yeah, no, we don't need it. We can save it. We absolutely want Flame Walk. Flame Walk and Fireball will give me two heroics every round. And I only lose 2 mana doing that, so that's exceptionally good. If I stay on the floor, I take damage. Oh no, let's just descend. After exploring, place damage on the hero. We forgot about that, didn't we? Do I want to just use the healing potion? Let's use, but then I won't be able to use invisibility. But I should be really good now. Let's just heal. Yeah, I know that spent time, but I have damage. Add poison to the consequences for each 5 die on this card. Beautiful. Well, we are getting lots of mana skills going here, so this skill is free. This skill is free. That's my 2 worst agilities. I get 5 mana back if I do this. I lose 3 mana if I do this. That's a lot of strength I have to cover. So that 5 is still exposed. I do have a lot of numbers that are really, like, inefficiently covered. So let's just put the ones that are equal to the value first before I figure out what to do afterwards. Yeah, we have lots of 6s here. And we have these 2 2s, but those 2 2s aren't doing anything. Because there are, in fact, no 2s. Also, by the way, we have 5s here. We don't want 5s there. So I probably just want a Chaos Arc. Just to finish this off. Just so that there's no 5s on the main card. That is unwise. Alright, spend an agility to roll a strength and gain a heroic, or gain an agility 4 or mana die. Probably want the mana die. We would like to level up and get that heroic, I guess. Yeah, I kind of want to rush for that. I don't want to get more dice. Oh man, that dice would have helped. No! Oh well. I have 2 extra dice here. That's fine. This encounter is not about the numbers as much as it is about the volume of dice. Oh, also, by the way, I keep forgetting that feint, I can ignore damage, so I didn't need to cover all those squares. Oh well. Oh well. So I used some of my mana once because they're useless in this encounter. So what all can we do? We have 5 good dice. We would like to prep maybe, ideally, but we don't care about the time. And on that note, we can sort of save one of these. Oh, we're also preventing 1 time. Or 1 damage. I keep forgetting that. Okay. I want to prep, but I can't really finagle these numbers any better. I guess I could do that. And then I can do a heroic here. Oh. Oh. That's not good. Also, let's remember to do that. Would I rather take 1 less damage, or would I rather lose a heroic? I think I would be fine with the damage. That experience does not help contribute to leveling me up, really. Dice may not be re-rolled or increased. That's fine. We're not increasing anything. We could have accidentally not been able to Chaos Arc, but that's not a concern. So we're better set up than we were the last game, although I feel like the last game would have been really good had we not died when we did. Oh, these are bad numbers. I can lose my 2 worst agilities to feint. That's fine. Like, we're not quite at the point where it doesn't matter what I roll. But I mean, most of my skills are helping a lot towards getting me what I need. So Fireball, if I do 2, 1, 1, 1, those dice don't help at all. I need to spend 6 into Flame Walk. I could do 2 3s because those aren't doing anything other than maybe... Well, no, I can't do prep. So now I have a 4 and a 5 that can cover the 2 manas there. My agility is good enough. I can do that. My strength, we need a lot of numbers. I can get a heroic here. Nope. Nope, too many heroics. Why did we only have 4 heroics? Is that what's going on? Oh man, we fought Razorbark twice. Is that what we did? Because I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no, never mind. We only fought Razorbark once. We have 5. 2 in focus, 1 from my 1 from my heroic roll, 1 from fearlessness. Oh, and I'm also using 2 from focus. Okay. I guess that's what's happening. 2 from focus, 1 base roll, 1 fearlessness. And I threw 1 in the fireball. Okay. Yeah, we're using all of our dice. All of our heroics. We're storing some in focus. That's why. Okay. So what damage can we prevent that would be most effective? That spends a time. Is there any way that we can cover that 6 without making a heroic? We don't have a heroic 6. We don't have a strength 6. So I would have to make a heroic in order to do that. Now, if I make a heroic, I lose a heroic somewhere else. Unfortunately, the heroics are currently on strength squares, and this strength 1 does not do me anything. I think 1 time is fine, though. And hopefully we get a 4 experience fight to cover the remainder. But Shadow Stalker is a 4. Okay. Use another skill without paying for it. Spend time. That's a really good skill. Alright, well, we have the agility already there. That's good. And I need to lose a we need to lose a heroic to either fireball or flame walk. This mana 1's not doing me anything, but I can't really throw it anywhere. All right, what now? Okay, everything's covered. And I can't prep. So that's that. Is this worth not leveling up? Maybe? I want to level up, though. Because when I explore, I'm only going to be able to enter 1 more door without taking damage, so I kind of... I'm also taking damage from exploring. I kind of just want to be at level 4. I like level 4. Oh boy, a skill that... Well, this is... If this is my last door, I'm gonna just go... Is this heroic 1 worth it? Like, the reroll doesn't really do much for me. Is that heroic 1 worth it? Like, it funds part of Feint. Like, I don't really need as much mana. I mean, I need 25. Oh, but struggle free is difficult. But I do have these heroics here that have to be spent because I'm not going to be able to do anything else. But I have 5 dice to cover. Yeah, that's a lot of things. Let's just display prowess then. Because I'm going to fight the boss and I can't keep my focus dice there anyway. 4, 4, 4, and then 12. Yay! Alright. I don't think it's worth the damage to stay here. So let's just go fight the boss. Hopefully we're ready for him. If not, we'll see. Dice spent to convert to a heroic are exiled, so we have to be especially careful and mindful of that. Our strength, I guess we have 2 strength 6s here that will cover the 6 that I need there. He has 9 health. I can do 5 damage to him in a round. Let's not use the potion. Let's save it for heroism. That will probably be more prudent. All right, we already have a 5 and a 6. That's good. Our agility is atrocious, but we're getting 2 6s out of Feint and Flame Walk. And our mana is really good. Can we cover the 25 right now? We're close to it. That heroic would do it, but bear in mind we're going to lose 2 mana to Flame Walk. So, other than that, we do have enough. Our agility isn't good enough to cover that 18, though. Plus, we have to spend something there. Let's re-roll this agility. And it didn't really help. Let's use Feint to get the 6. Well, actually, the odd thing is that this 556 is really, like, only for not taking damage. That's weird. The priority is here. That's really weird. Let's see. Fireball. And then Flame Walk. There's the 25. If I spend these, if I convert these to a heroic, we lose them. Currently, I'm dying. If I use the heroism potion, though, I can convert these 2 agilities to 6s, cover these 2 5s, and I take no damage this round. And then I can save Chaos Arc for the next round. And that would be the round that I would need to win. Chaos Arc wouldn't help me stay alive. I would still take damage, and I would have a heroism potion that might not help, but Chaos Arc would definitely work, regardless of my strength roll, and then I could convert whatever remaining strength dice to heroics and not have to worry about it because the round will be over. So let's use heroism, change these 2. All right, flawless round. Have to do 4 damage to the boss without dying. And that is not a good mana roll this time. We probably need to re-roll the mana. We have enough to cover all of the agilities on the right, but those aren't the priority. We have a strength 5, but not a strength 6. Chaos Arc. Let's just take it. This gives me a spare strength 6. Gives me an agility 6. I, however, still need some some die to throw into Feint, but Forest Blessing gives me 1. And I absolutely need to cover that 25, so I might not Flame Walk. But Fireball is safe. This gives me a heroic 5 that can go there. We do still have 2 left over. So we need 6 more, which we can do with my current mana. And that would be... that should do it then, right? Let's just re-roll one of my manas because that was definitely atrocious mana roll, but that's good. And then that gives me another agility 6. I can afford Flame Walk now for sure, and then I can cover the 25. after exiling my 2 strengths. All right, flawless round, and we've defeated the Hellhound after losing to him. But all right, we got this, and I can now get 2 of these skills over here to help. Let's get Blind Luck to get some die to throw somewhere, and then let's get Bull Rush because that reduces the difficulty of each large box by 1. I don't really like reroll skills too much, but that helps out Mist's aggression. That's good. Very good. We've been doing this for 2.5 hours. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm not sure if my chat died or if it's just been a quiet night, but if you were chatting and I didn't get my messages, didn't update on my chat window, it does happen. I don't know why when I disconnect. Oh, but Louis just sent a message. So maybe I did have an active chat this entire time. Whoops, sorry. But thanks again for another fun and exciting stream of Aeon's End and One Deck Dungeon. Chat was asleep. All right, good. Makes me feel good that I wasn't just ignoring people the entire stream. So we had a really good Aeon's End match. I learned a lot from that match about being able to diversify my mages and figure out where to prioritize each of them. And the One Deck Dungeon game, we lost the first time due to a little bit of bad luck, maybe even a misplay though. Second game, we got a bit more fortunate, but still wasn't an entirely straightforward game. I would have liked to have more skills and dice, but had to play with what I had. The Hellhound, I mean, we were fortunate enough to have the Heroism Potion and the 6s I had left over in my skill, the Chaos Arc. But that required some planning, and without that planning, we would have lost. That's why I like One Deck Dungeon, though, because you have to plan ahead. You can't just play with the dice. You have to plan around the dice. And although I didn't really feel that way this game, I did feel like... some games you do reach a point where it doesn't matter what your dice rolls are. Even in this last match, I had terrible mana rolls, but I was only barely able to succeed. A better game would have been one where I really wouldn't care what the mana roll was. Anyway, thanks for watching. Be sure to check out the other streams we have on this channel. Every Tuesday, we have Handelabra live with John and sometimes Jeremy. Every Thursday at 7, we have Dolphins Die with yours truly. Every Saturday at 8 p.m. we have On Deck with Pirate Savvy and Dover, a brother-sister team with some fun back and forth. And every Sunday at 7 p.m. we have Tales from the Archive with another letdown for some storytelling Sentinels. You can get this game, One Deck Dungeon, and Aeon's End, and Sentinels the Multiverse, and Bottom of the Ninth. Oh my gosh, there's so many good games out there that Handelabra has made. You can get those games through Steam, iOS, or Android devices. Bottom of the Ninth is free. On Steam, it's not listed as free, but you can get a Steam key by messaging Handelabra, and that will go, you know, you get to play Bottom of the Ninth for free, a way to play a baseball game without baseball being available due to the COVID-19 situation. And it's a free game. Might as well just check it out. The other games do cost money, but they are really good games, and I believe they are on sale or were on sale. And you can, you know, they're discounted, good games. I love these games so much. That's why I stream all of these games on the Handelabra channel. They're not just dice games, not just card games. They're strategic games. Games. Sorry, I'm like slurring words, but they're good games. I like them a lot, and I love being able to show this on stream and hopefully help some people out that are learning the game and are unable to figure out how to play effectively. Because I mean, figuring out the rules are one thing, but figuring out how to play effectively is another thing. If you like me as a person, thank you. Thank you. That's it. Thank you. I'm a good person. But if you do want to see more of my content, I have my own personal Twitch channel at twitch.tv/LewDolphin. I have a Twitter channel at LewDolphin21. Also a YouTube channel where my personal streams are more centered around Final Fantasy 13 content. But if for whatever reason I get an audience that is just demanding more Sentinels or One Deck Dungeon or Aeon's End outside of the Handelabra stream, well, I might just be willing to show it on my own personal stream. And then you can see more delightful content from Dolphin. But that's it for me tonight, folks. have a good night, stay safe, and wash your hands and practice social distancing. And at the risk of getting too political, don't listen to President Trump when he says that this thing will blow over, because it's the medical experts that you should be listening to, not a politician that doesn't really have a good science background. All right, I said my thing. Have a good night, everyone.